All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode. Wait, it's the first episode. Welcome to our first episode of TripTalk, where we have conversations about life while we're living life. So you just sit there, you be a little fly on the wall, and I'm going to talk to our very first esteemed guest, Laura DeLaurier. Hello, welcome to my show.
Thank you for having me.
What are you doing here today?
Aside from having some delicious brunch at First Watch, which is one of our favorite ways to spend our weekends, I am kind of reintroducing myself to the world as a full-time artist. So that's been an exciting journey for me.
What do you mean by full-time artist?
Yeah.
What does that entail?
Absolutely. I'd love to talk more about that. So I have traditionally been working in the field of marketing for corporations, a lot of software companies, and
Corporations?
I know, can you believe it? And it was definitely an insightful experience into seeing how the world works and how profit-driven a lot of these companies are.
Are they driven by anything else?
Right, often at the expense of humanity. And it just,
Hello.
hi, thank you.
Thank you.
So it definitely didn't feel like a fulfilling use of my skill set. I was more following other people.
Camera eats first. Market hash.
And I got a superfoods bowl, chia seed pudding with fruit and granola, and some almond butter toast on the side.
All right, keep going. We're still listening.
Yeah. So it definitely didn't feel like a fulfilling use of my creative skill set, especially when I had to apply it to other people's briefs, and particularly when those briefs didn't excite me or align with anything that I was passionate about. It's really hard to be creative at the whim of somebody else for something that you have no personal why behind.
Right.
And so much of marketing is finding your why. And so I really, over the last year kind of took a step back and asked myself, what do I want my days to look like, and what do I want to be working towards? And the answer was never really selling ERP software. Like, what does that even mean, right? Exactly. Nothing. So I got back in touch with what were my earliest draws to the field of art. And really it was creating things that resonated with people, but specifically I have always been in love with plastering my art all over my body, however.
But you have no tattoos. So
I know.
how do you plaster your art all over your body, but you have no tattoos?
The part of the reason that I've never committed to a tattoo is I have such ever-evolving taste, and it's really hard for me to narrow down all of my, passions and interests into one piece of artwork that will be there forever. I just want to be able to kind of shift based on what I feel that the day entails creatively.
So you want to go wherever the wind takes you.
Yeah, and that's the Aquarius in me. So I've often been drawn to things that you can wash off at the end of the day, like makeup, or something that you can put on just for a brief period of time, like an earring or an accessory. I was always the kid that would put on every single bracelet that I owned when I was getting ready for the day. So
you still do stuff like that. So
yeah.
I mean, go ahead and show them your ear. I know y'all can't see or hear this on the podcast, but she has 20-something ear piercings.
22 holes in my
nose.
ears and nose to date. I actually used to have this little area at the base of my neck pierced, but it was cute, but it was short-lived because I didn't quite know what my family back home in East Texas would think.
Yeah, don't be afraid to dig in. They like ASMR.
Yes.
Well,
I was going to leave off with the fact that this year, at the beginning of this year, we launched full-time, or at least I launched full-time into a company that Jayla here and I started together, which is Wonder and Hearth. Very exciting. And so that is really an outlet for me to kind of flex all of my creative muscles, which again, I have a really hard time limiting my time and my energy and my excitement into one thing.
Yeah.
So we have a digital magazine where I get to use my design skills, my writing, my photography, and therefore, my makeup artistry, my fashion styling, but also
instead of digital, you get to hit that undo button.
Exactly. No eraser needed. And then we also have our store where I have my collection of handmade jewelry. We also do appearances at local markets, so we have some in-person items that you might be able to see something before it hits the shop. So that's really exciting. But we really wanted it to be something that was tactile, that couldn't be replaced by AI, which actually ended up my job roles when I was working for these companies was getting more and more automated and more in the hands of AI, and it was just taking
And your favorite
away
part was how hands
that
on it
last
was.
little shred. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Of what I liked to do. So I decided to take my efforts and my skill set elsewhere.
Yeah.
To a place where nobody could really take that away from me.
And my favorite thing about all of that has been listening to you explain your creative genius, what you're going through, why you're doing what you're doing. And
Thanks, honey.
I mean, that's why I'm doing Wonder and Hearth, is because I like to communicate. And I feel like, even, how corporate is. They do not want you communicating. They want you to submit a 1 to 5 score, no free response. And here is nothing but freedom. I get to mic up. I get to speak out loud. I get to do what I want. And nobody's coming run up behind me saying, can you edit that wording? Can you not say unfortunately? Unfortunately, that's just the way that I talk. And so it feels really nice to be able to express myself in whatever ways I see fit and throw it on the internet. And if you have something to say about it, good. I want y'all to say something, because my job is not to do what the world is telling me to do. My job is to be myself, and the world has to adapt around me. I'm part of the environment too. And so at the end of the day, they want us to do all these things that we're supposed to do to be a good human. But at the end of the day, like, what is being a good human if you're sitting around doing nothing at all? And that's what they want us to do. They want us to do less and less. So they're taking more and more things from me. And it's actually the opposite of what I feel like is useful, where I want to take on more responsibility. I want to do more. I'm doing extra things on the side. And it's because they're taking away my capabilities at work and at schools and places of education. They don't want you doing hands-on. They don't want you having the conversation. They want you to beat around the bush, talk to a third party first, and then talk to each other.
And regurgitate opinions you've heard. We talk all the time about how having an opinion is almost like a lost art these days, because everyone is looking for something external from a secondary source, research back to tell them exactly what to think and not how to think.
And even if you do regurgitate it, that's what we used to do. It's called saying it in your own words.
Right.
Oh, you're good. Yes, we're good. Thank you. And saying it in your own words is actually really hard. Like, you can hear an exact speech, and if you ask me to say it back to you exactly what you just told me about Wonder and Hearth and why you're not doing marketing for a company anymore, I still won't be able to repeat you exact, because I perceived it the way I perceived it, remembered what I remembered. So I would even appreciate if somebody could regurgitate to me, what lesson did you just learn? What did you do yesterday? What have you been up to?
Well, and I think the key of what you said is you're intaking information, but then you're synthesizing it with other information that you have in your brain. And you're coming to your own unique conclusion based on your personal perspective of the world. Instead of saying, well, TikTok told me this, so it has to be true and I have to replicate it 100%. Yeah, right. That's why we're here at TripTalk, because we want people to go on their own mental journeys before they arrive at their conclusions. Because that's how we keep making the world a more interesting place. I mean, we didn't get to this point of art to be able to plug into a machine learning model if we didn't have centuries and generations of people thinking outside of the box and putting their own unique spin on things. So we definitely want to get back to that, because that pain of having to think through something and experiment with something and do something wrong and then arrive at your own conclusion fortifies you so much more mentally. And we don't want to lose that creative inspiration, or honestly that mental fortification, as we continue trying to advance.
I've noticed that a lot of people don't want to get up in front of people and say something because they're afraid they're going to put their foot in their mouth.
Say the wrong thing.
Or say the wrong thing. And I mean, at the end of the day, I say the wrong thing 1,000 times, but if you say the right thing once,
and things that used to be wrong ended up being right.
Things that were right used to be wrong.
People thought that our solar system revolved around the Earth, and that simply wasn't true.
And who knows what the truth is? At the end of the day, just go ahead and make a hypothesis and let somebody call you crazy.
It. Yeah, exactly. And none of the greats got to where they were by being afraid of putting themselves out there, giving something a try.
And definitely not from being afraid to speak out loud in front of everyone, in front of everything. Just being a part of the actual community that you're in. Because if you're not a part of the community, you're always helping the community, then who are you helping then?
And that's what we're seeing with this, compartmentalization and commercialization and commodification of so many things that we used to look for other humans for. These powers that be are trying to isolate us and feel like we can't rely on anyone else around us, that we should only look to the institutions because they're the only reliable word on things. And that is just simply not the case. And the more that we have community around us, the better off we are to face hardships, because at the end of the day, you know, if you call some of these corporate giants, they're not coming to save you. They don't care about you. All you are is a number on a spreadsheet. Versus if you ask your neighbor for help, they almost have a personal stake in the game, because not only do they care about you as a person, but they also might need help and might need to cash in a favor in the future. And you end up building this system of people that, you know, almost have like a personal tie to making sure that something gets done right for you.
Right.
They have more than just a paycheck coming their way that they can just, you know, write off whatever personal impact they have.
Yeah, the currency is changing. We're not going to be still using currency as the US dollar. Our currency is going to be,
yeah, we already don't have pennies.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, can you help me with an energy transfer? Could you lift up a little bit of something that's been weighing me down? Otherwise, if you can't, you might just be adding on to that weight, or somehow telling me that it's not. It's like, oh, that's fine. That's enough weight to carry. And it's like, I don't need to hear how easy it is while I'm asking for help. And so that's why, I mean, at the end of the day, we offer a lot of help. We do a lot of things. We are willing to give up our energy and keep it into a flow, because if you hold on to it and you're stagnant about it and you don't want to give up energy and use energy, then you're never going to be having energy flowing. You're going to be like an old dirty lake that has not moved, has not seen a boat in years,
algae,
festering. And it's because you don't want to have an energy flow.
Yeah, and we see a lot in return that we probably wouldn't otherwise. And it's not always directionally tied to, you know, a transactional sequence of events.
Volunteering is worth something.
Whatever type of energy you put out into the world is what comes back around. And
Yeah.
I've heard it a million times. Justin Timberlake sang it best, but it really is true. Where like your life ends up being a reflection of your choices and your attitudes.
If you volunteer, you might not get paid with money, but your neighborhood might be cleaner. Your library might have a little bit of extra dollars in their pocket from a donor who saw a book that they needed because the library was all a mess and you went and helped organize it. You never know. Somebody that did not know there was an election come up might go vote because of you. So it might not pay off with cash in your pocket, but it pays off with a better lifestyle for you. And at the end of the day, I'm concerned about the days of my life and how am I living them and what does it look like?
Because we got to a point where we were trading bits of our life and our life essence for currency. And, you know, as inflation steadily continues to creep up, we're seeing that the time and energy that we are spending our lives doing things for other people is being valued less and less and less. So why are we still spending it on people that don't appreciate it, when there are ways that you'll get so much more of a payout, whether that is, you know, in returned life energy, a nice home cooked meal, help on your car. I mean, it could be literally anything, but it becomes so much more meaningful, and your energy ends up stretching you so much further than what you could get with, I mean, it's like $7.
I know.
It's still $7 for an
and you know
entire
what?
hour
We've met
of
the
your life.
most people at our neighborhood by going to the market. Not by being on the Facebook groups, not by going to these little like events that people set up, like, oh, we need to do a specific event for a group to join this club and pay to get into this club. No, we're meeting people at these places that are like a free public event for anybody to come to, not just people in the neighborhood, but anybody can come to. So we're able to meet more people. And as social creatures, I think that we were mistaken in what is actually valued. Money was serving as a third party to something that we are valuing the most, which is social connection. We wanted to get into these rooms. We wanted to have a certain group for our lifestyle, which is why we go to certain types of bars or places that might be a little bit outside of our comfort zone, but it's because we want to meet those kinds of people. And so instead of having to pay to get in or pay to play, it's actually called participate. And I'm ready to give out participation trophies again. I miss them. I miss where it was like, if you wanted to come in here and participate, even if you're not the best, thank you for showing up, because otherwise we have nothing without you. It's the people in the stands at the basketball game are the reason why you get to keep playing for money. So unless you're going to pay it forward.
Yep. No matter how much these corporate entities try to tell you that you don't matter, you are the only thing that matters.
Yep. And we do not have a bubble where you're protected for any reason from anybody, from anything. That is just a falsity. So you just have to go out, make connections, and that safety will build up upon you as you build a safer community for yourself and everybody around you. Yeah. Nobody's coming to save us.
Word.
Well, I hope y'all enjoyed the first episode of Trip Talk, where we talk about life while we're living life. I have about half my food eaten. I know Laura's
I know,
going
I'm
to be
about
working
to
on
dig
hers
in and
as
go
soon as I
crazy
turn
over
this
here.
camera off. And I just want to make sure y'all know that this is a social connection, this right here, this too. And so join us on this ride. Leave a comment about what y'all want to see next, who y'all want to see next. I got a lot of people in my life that I'm going to pull into this and make them share their lives with more people, because I built up connections and I got people to like me and trust me. But I think that, you know, we need to share more. And if everybody can feel comfortable, even if it's an extension of me that makes them feel comfortable, I'll go ahead and do so.
Speaking of sharing, I would be remiss if I didn't share where you could find me. So I am the Laura DeLaurier. That's the THE Laura LAURA DeLaurier DELAURIER on all socials. And you can also follow our business at Wonder and Hearth. We also have our online shop at wonderandhearth.com, so you can look through all of our works and learn more about us. And the best way to stay up to date with what we're working on and what's coming out next is by following us on Instagram. So,
and last but not least, like and subscribe. I don't know where the button is, but you know what to do. All right. Peace out.
Bye.
Love y'all.
Take care
I
now.
will see y'all on our next trip.